following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
All right, let's do it. I got a lot to talk about. We're going to dumb a few things down, maybe a lot of things down. I don't know. Are you ready? Well, that's not the effect I wanted. I got to tell you, every so often, I have a theory. Every so often, I sit here in the caravan, and I power up the studio, the Spreaker studio app, the recording studio app, and I'm ready to go. And wouldn't you know it, boom, I'm missing this, I'm missing that. All of a sudden, these things disappear. Gremlins, right? The little gremlins are working. And it's just insane. I don't know. I suspect, my theory is that there are times where I turn it on, the app, and my phone is at low power. Like 30% or whatever like that. I have a sneaky suspicion that might be the issue. I just sent a report to Spreaker support, but I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. All my going for a drive stuff basically is gone. Everything that Hal sent me, Hal in Philly, who also does Tales of the Road Warriors, and it's easy when you know Hal, you can find on Spreaker. All of its stuff is gone. It's not in my files. It's nowhere. It's not even off the Spreaker Studio app. So you're not going to hear that for a while. I don't know what's going on. Although he did call me today, so maybe I can convince him to send me some cuts so we can put that back in the show. Boy, it's crazy. And that outro when going for a drive, gone. It's all gone. I didn't touch a thing. All gone. But I suspect, for some reason, I have this memory that every time this happens, I look at my phone and it's low on power, like at 30%. So somehow when I turn on the app, and I just did, I powered it up. I plugged it in, and it's up to 70%. I shut it off, I brought it back, it doesn't matter. Everything's gone. So anyway, that's it, folks. I don't know how long this is going to be for. We'll have to rough it. We'll have to rough it. First world problems. You don't get to hear the music you want to hear. You don't get to hear the intro, the outro that Hal and Philly so wonderfully helped me, put together and, custom for the show. But you know what? You can always contact Hal. I'm blanking on his last name. I'm going to say Cohen. That's a good guess. I think he's Hal Cohen. So, could be Hal Greenberg. I don't know. Could be Hal Schwartzman. I don't know. Hal Horowitz? That doesn't sound familiar. I'll go with Hal Cohen. And say, hey, I'll pay you. What's it? What are you charging for the full song? He'll send you the file. A couple of bucks. It's not going to be the same as if you bought it on vinyl. But I don't know if you'll ever get it to vinyl. None of these things are the show, I wanted to do. None of these things are the things I wanted to talk about. But here it is. I'm driving out of the Walmart parking lot in Rensselaer, New York on the 29th of February. This is a show that you're not going to hear for another 4 years. I'm not going to do a show like this for another 4 years. This is a rare, special February 29th show. So, enjoy it while you can. Savor it. I'm not doing another one for a while. Let me see. It's one of those skies where it's a lot of blue, a lot of sun. There's also a lot of cloud. And it did snow earlier. I think it snowed last night, but just like little flakes, like bits and pieces. So, and it'll snow for a mile, then it won't snow. Although one of our drivers went out west, and I think he got caught up in that lake effect because his trailer's up at the exit 23 tandem area, and it looks bad. So, anyway, it doesn't look bad. It just looks like somebody drove into a lot of snow. Okay, so let's do this. Let me just quickly tell you the latest of what just happened to me, other than the fact that I sat in the Walmart parking lot when I should be 20 minutes down the road. I just did a whole bunch of shopping, and I'm going to update you on what just occurred. My wife calls me. She actually texts me. I think we actually got downgraded our relationship to a text relationship rather than an oral, talking back and forth relationship. Anyway, so she texts me, something about, Kyle, my son. The son and I were thinking about getting Chinese food. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? today, I swear to God, in the 29, 30 years we've been married, I've never heard my wife say, oh yeah, we were thinking about getting Chinese food. It's usually like my idea. And I just came from work where I said to one of the drivers, we were talking about eating, and I said, I'll tell you what, and this is what I said. I said, I'll tell you what I know I'm not eating. I'm not eating any Chinese food until this whole thing is over. And I'm not usually the paranoid one, and I don't think I am. I'm not usually the cautious one. Between my wife and I, she's the one that's overly secure, locking everything in the house before we go to bed, even though we live in the middle of the woods. And I think the crime rate in my neighborhood for the last 30 years has been zero. In fact, it's the opposite. It's like whatever is less than zero, because we've donated to Goodwill and, Salvation Army and all that stuff. So there's a lot of charity. And in fact, somebody in the neighborhood works at a food bank in Woodstock, New York. So not only is the crime rate at zero, we're also, what's the word? Not beneficial. We're a charitable neighborhood. We give. Nobody takes from us, and we give. So, but she's every night with the locking, with the closing, with the checking, and with the hearing. I just heard something. Yeah, what do you think you heard? I don't know. Just check it out. Why? Why would I check it out? It's been 29 years. You think tonight's the night? It's been 30 years. You think tonight's the night? Tonight's the night that we get robbed? Tonight's the night that we... what's out there? A bear. What? Yeah, a bear. And I'm not confronting a bear. Or it's a coyote. Or, it's a rabid raccoon or possum or squirrels having a good time. And I watch the squirrels have a good time during the day. So why wouldn't they have a good time at night? Are squirrels nocturnal? I guess, right? I don't know. Do squirrels even have a predator? Does every animal have a predator? Is the owl I don't know. Who hunts down the squirrel? So anyway, so she's overly cautious all the time. In fact, I just told her that. She goes, yeah, you say I'm negative. I go, I don't say you're negative. I say you're overly cautious. But here it is. I know it's the right thing to do. And I'm sorry, Chinese restaurant owners of America. I know there's like 48,000 of you. I know that because I did a study once. I think there's only like 24,000 McDonald's in the United States. And I think there's like 48,000 Chinese restaurants. There's way more Chinese restaurants than there are McDonald's. I'm not surprised by that. But, so anyway, she's going to go get Chinese food. I just think it's worth waiting. And we just had a bad experience a couple of weeks ago. There's three Chinese restaurants. There's one, let's say, there's 1, 2, and 3, all right? The one is in town. We used to go to that all the time, and then I don't know what happened. We stopped going to it. I don't think there's a particular reason. Number 2 is in the middle of 1 and 3, actually in the location of it. That's why I gave it number 2. But there's nobody ever there. It's like more of a eat-in restaurant than it is an order-out restaurant. And I never see any cars in the parking lot. My wife and I ate there like 15, 20 years ago. It wasn't bad, but, I don't like when the parking lot's always empty. Because, there are restaurants where you will drive by and it will be packed. And you know that the food is turning over quickly. The perishable food, everything, how do you order for a restaurant that doesn't do business? That's my point. You know what? I think it's already time for a drink break. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm doing 2 shows a week. Because I'm talking less and less. Because I don't talk on the phone as much as I used to when I'm at work. But for some reason, my voice is scratchier than ever. Yeah, and it hurts to talk sometimes. I wonder if this has anything to do with the intermittent fasting. If I'm losing weight and I'm losing that bass sound that I might have because my stomach is getting, smaller. So I used to have a big woofer for a stomach. The woofer, isn't that for the bass? So maybe now my woofer is shrinking, which is not a male issue. It's a good thing. My woofer is shrinking. And I think my voice is getting a little bit higher pitched or not as bassy. But it sounds scratchy. It could be from doing 2 shows a week. I doubt it. 2 half-hour shows? I can't believe that my throat is that sensitive. Anyway, I just paused the phone there and I took a drink break. All right, just took another drink break again. And so there you go. So she's getting Chinese food. So I said, all right, you know what? Order me some spare ribs and pork fried rice. And I said, but I'm sure you'll be standing at the counter making sure that they're washing their hands. And because my wife, every time we go out, if she sees one little thing, she's like, all right, I'm out. What I just saw them touch whatever. I just saw her. She's always like, I just saw. I said, I don't know why you're even looking. Why do you even look when you know it's going to bother you, and then we can't eat there? And there's certain things you can't say, and there's certain things can't happen, because as soon as it's said or it happens, we're out. I mean, she's mostly out. I could really care less. Anyway, so I'm going to be risking my life, I think. Listen, folks, I know, I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to cast aspersions on Chinese restaurants and Chinese food because of the situation with the Croatia virus. Whatever it is, Corona, I know. And, I'm making light of it. But I'm still shocked that I just was telling somebody minutes ago, I know what I'm not going to eat for lunch today. I'm not eating Chinese food. Because I knew I was in the right crowd to say something like that. I want to see their reaction, like, oh yeah, you're right. Anyway, but then wouldn't you know it, my wife calls me or texts me and says, hey, we're thinking about getting Chinese food. Okay, so there's that. What else do I want to talk about? Hey guys, thank you for your support. Episode 200, 201, 202. I really appreciate the comments that are coming in, and we're going to probably address that because. Before I forget, this Monday, so today's the 29th. No, not Monday, this Sunday, tomorrow. If you guys are hearing this on the 29th or the 30th of February, sure, Dave, the 1st of March. So if today is in fact the 29th and it is in fact Saturday, then tomorrow, if it is in fact March 1st, Sunday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll put the link in the show notes or maybe my assistant will or something like that. But anyway, we will. I will probably tweet it. That's why you should look for me on Twitter at Dumb with Dave. Dumbing It Down with Dave is the website. And but I will try to tweet it out and I'll put it in the show notes. I will be on a show called Radioactive. Radioactive with Pat Morrow. And was it Pat Moreau? I never asked him. It could be Pat Moreau. I think it's Morrow. But it's Radioactive is the show. It's 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And I don't know what we're going to talk about. I don't know how long I'm going to stay for. Do they want me on at 7:15 to 7:30? Or is it going to be for the entire length of the show? I guess we're going to see how it goes. And he's going to introduce me to the Crooked River Radio Network. So Pat will. And there's other people in the cast. I don't know the names offhand. But anyway, I don't have like a little press release, to read from a copy. I don't have any copy. But so tune in. All else fails, go to the Crooked River Radio website, crookedriverradio.com, I assume. Could be .org, could be .net, could be .tv. I don't know, but look it up. It's there. And there's also like a live 365 or something. I don't even know what that is. But I think you can hear it on Live 365. But they're also on Spreaker. They are, in fact, on Spreaker. So I'm going to try to post the Spreaker link since you guys are, I think, most of you listen to me on Spreaker. I know there's a YouTuber out there and somebody else, Mike. Hey, Mike, thanks for joining the show. Mike has been listening to a couple of episodes here and there. Hasn't been very overly complimentary, but that's okay. I appreciate his honesty. Better to say nothing at all, right, than to say something negative. But he did admit to listening to a couple of shows, I guess. And I don't know where he's listening. Spreaker, I didn't ask him. Because you know what? I don't prod and poke. I don't really care. Like, just in case somebody's lying to me, I don't want to embarrass them. So what did you listen? What was your favorite part? When I was 10 minutes in and I coughed and I bled out my nose, was that fun for you? Did you enjoy that? To see if they say yeah, they go, oh yeah, because that never happened. So I don't interrogate anybody. You listen, you don't. There's nothing I can do about it. It's out of my hands. So anyway, but thank you, Mike, if you are in fact listening, and however you're listening, I greatly appreciate it. But the podcast platform of choice would be Spreaker because of the comment section. And by the way, I monetize my show on Spreaker, and I don't monetize my show on any of the other platforms. It's another good reason to be on Spreaker. It helps me out a little bit. All right? Okay. So what are we going to do now? All right, what are we going to do now? Okay. I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to eat Chinese food while we drive down the thruway. Unbelievable. All right, I got my glasses on. I got half a show left. let's see if I can do this. It looks like the microphone's working. Oh, by the way, the last episode I did, what was it, 203 or 202? I think it was 203. It doesn't matter. The show that I said, I've never been this tired. Oh, my God, folks. The last 5-10 minutes of that show, or was it 8 minutes? So painful. I didn't do a show last Saturday, so I ended up doing it Sunday, basically Monday morning, I think it was. Oh, my God. It was so painful because I was so tired. And I did a whole half-hour show, which, of course, was a decent show. And then I realized the microphone wasn't plugged in properly. It didn't work right. So I had to re-record it. And I got so tired. It was like 2:30 in the morning. And poor Lynn from Mile High Radio, HiRadio.com, she was waiting on it. And it was like having a deadline, and I was tired. It was the worst feeling in the world. I think I did listen to some of it, or the ending of it once, but I can't listen to it again, because as soon as I hear it, I hear myself struggle. I know that I'm struggling to stay awake. My eyes are in pain, my head's in pain, and I'm just, why didn't I do this on Saturday on the way home? So I got to do it. I got to do a Saturday show. And I think I'm going to move one of the shows over to like early in the week or something. It doesn't matter. I hate when podcasters talk about scheduling, because you don't care. You just sit there. When you get the notification, you listen. But if you like it, hey, if you like your podcast on a regular day, let me know. You know, I mean, I used to be pretty regular. I haven't been regular in a while. All right, but I'll be regular if you want me to be regular. I'll try. I can't promise anything. But that's one of the beauties of the show. You get an authentic show. I'm not forcing it, because I know I have to release it Wednesday at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. I'm not forcing an episode. If I don't feel it, I don't feel it. You're getting 2 in 7 days. And this time you're getting a Saturday show, and you might get a Monday show. But what was the show I did before this? Well, I think I did it on Wednesday or Thursday. All right, so you had a couple days in between. I try to give you guys some time to digest your podcast. You got to digest it. And I like to wait for the show comments to come. All right, speaking of that, let's just do that, because we haven't done it in a while, and I get nervous when we don't do it in a while. So let's go to, I don't know what episode number this is. It doesn't matter. This was published on February 13th. The Oscars, Spy Cams, and Crooked River Radio. I'm assuming that's what the name of it, because it just says ... here. So I'm assuming that's what it is. The Oscars, Spy Cams, and Crooked River Radio. In this episode, Dave discusses various types. Okay, let's calm down. In this episode, Dave discusses various types of issues, personal, local, and international, on all things social media, Hollywood, peer pressure, and privacy invasion. Wow, I didn't know I was that well informed. Stay tuned to the end of the show, where he makes an enjoyable announcement regarding the future of the show. Clue, look at this. Clue, check out this episode's title. Ooh. Also, Dave plays a game with the listeners for the first time. Yes, we did. We did. Okay. What was the quote that she took out here? Let's see. Wow, this is a long one. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because it's interesting in the year 2020, the sensitivity to what we put on Facebook or what we put on social media, and how people are concerned for the safety or the hassle. There's so many things that they're concerned about, and I get it. All right, I think I remember what that's about. Did you get it? I'm not going to read it again. It's too much. Let's just go to the comments. Let's go to the comments. How many were there, it says here? 20 comments. I think 1 or 2 of them are mine. Yeah, I started off the comments by saying, hey, thanks for coming. I appreciate you listening, and then stopping by to engage here in the Spreaker chat box. I hope you enjoyed the show. Pat Mason wrote, it's 10 p.m. It's time to get my dumb on. Pat Mason wrote, 2 episodes away from a milestone. Oh, so now we know this is episode 198. Pat Mason wrote, I do not celebrate Valentine's Day because I didn't do anything wrong. I think that's a comment on male guilt or something like that. Patrick Mason wrote, coaching my ass. They lie, and lie some more. I'm pretty sure he wrote that as animated as I said it. Patrick Mason wrote, it's a human life show. Patrick Mason also wrote, I can't believe we don't need a SAG card to be on camera. Oh, yeah, so I must have been talking about the camera in the truck. Ugh. Patrick Mason wrote, the camera has become more distracting in itself. That is true. And there's a lot of other things, folks, about that camera that I just don't have time to share with you. But overall, it's a negative. But, you know, they think they're saving money on insurance, so whatever. Patrick Mason also wrote, the people who did the study made a lot of money off those companies, and these companies were sold a bag of crap, and they bought it. Yep, there you go. Patrick Mason guessed we played a game. How many podcast platforms am I on? Patrick Mason guessed 52. And then I mentioned it was 28, and Patrick Mason wrote, 28 was my second guess. Patrick Mason wrote, congratulations on moving forward. Okay. Linda Irwin did a little script here. She wrote, Dave, and I think it's colon or semicolon, would you shut off your stupid camera? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, let's do it again. Let's take two. Dave, this is me. I'm Dave. And I say, would you shut up? Would you shut off, you stupid camera? And camera says, I'm sorry. I can't do that, Dave. Linda Irwin with the sci-fi humor that you can hear on a regular basis on Awesome Insanity Surfers, which now they're doing Crash Dystopia. There you go. Listen to that. It's really good. I'm loving it. And I don't do stories, but I'm doing this story. Linda Irwin wrote, what is your favorite shade of lipstick and when are you applying it? LOL. I'm not wearing no lipstick. I have beautiful puckered up lips naturally. Thank God. All right. I just heard a Joan Rivers clip early this morning on satellite or somewhere where she was picking on Mick Jagger and said that Mick Jagger had childbearing lips. I thought that was pretty funny. Linda Irwin wrote, apparently Facebook itself thought I was too spammy, graphically violent, insensitive, and bullying, yada, yada. Why I am not there anymore? Because they deleted my show shares. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff that Linda went through. But I got to tell you, Linda, and to the rest of the people, I've heard, I don't know, every Awesome Insanities episode over the last 4 years, and I don't know nothing that's remotely offensive or violent. Well, there's violence, but, you know, it's not. There's no racism. There's nothing. I don't know why anybody would give her trouble. I don't know if it's family friendly, but it's a pretty friendly show. Linda Irwin wrote, and by the way, Linda, I do not like this response at all. I did not guess, since Patrick Mason, already stated how many podcasts you were on. That doesn't make any sense. It was a written contest. All you got to do is... Oh, so you probably saw his guess after he commented because he heard the whole show before you. So you saw him right. 28 was my second guess. Yeah, but Linda, you should have just had a number. Just guess. Whatever. Okay. I'm giving Linda... Well, what am I doing? Throwing shade because she didn't play a game? I don't play well with others. Okay. Hal Aaron, Hal in Philly, Tales of the Road Warriors. Did a really good best of episode. Very good best of episode. Or the year in review or something like that the other day. Very good. Hal Aaron wrote, a little black electrical tape over the lens should do the trick. Yeah, that and a hammer. Yeah. I always think about dabbing a little Vaseline or some grease. You know, hey, if I put grease on every lens, what are they going to say? They're like, oh, yeah, well, it's a trucking company. You don't want grease on your lens? You better clean your stuff. Oh, I'm getting tired. I can feel my eyes getting heavy. Hal Aaron wrote, stage a fake truck jacking where you turn the tables and take down the attackers. The company gives you a medal, and as the hero, you kindly request they remove the cameras. Jeez, Hal. That's some scheme. What do you write for Marvel Comics on the side? What's wrong with you? Patrick Maruki took a guess, and he guessed 40 podcast platforms. That was a good guess. 40 would be nice. I don't know if it would help me, but 40 would be nice. Okay. And that's it. I had the last comment, and what did we write here? What was your guess when I asked how many platforms is the show on? So there you go. Okay, so that was, what we decided? It was episode 198? 198. How much time do I have left? Oh, boy. Make sure you touch the right button, Dave. Oh, only a couple of minutes left. Let's see if I can do one more show. I don't think I can. The Houston Cheaters. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to read the comments of the Houston Cheaters, but I will say this. All right. In regards to the Houston Cheaters episode, here's my comments in brief once again. actually, the news item has actually faded off the radar a little bit on the sports radio down in New York. I'm happy for that because I thought it was going to be like the Pete Rose story, and it was like never, ever, ever going to go away. And I was really going to be bummed out about that because I don't really listen. I'm not really a big, huge sports fan like a lot of guys, but I like listening to sports radio, and I don't like turning it on and all they're talking about is the Houston Cheaters. But I am looking forward to the documentary. I am curious how they're going to portray this whole thing because this is the craziest story. And I just want to reiterate one point. The first guy came up with the idea. Here's what we're going to do. High tech, whatever they did to steal the signals. And the fact that he thought that it was so important to cheat, it was so important to win that they had to cheat. It's so important. And this guy, he was a big-time all-star, this Carlos Beltran. I can say his name because he's a celebrity. So, it's so important to win that you got to cheat. I think his penalty should be as bad as Pete Rose's penalty. Pete Rose is out of the game. He bet on baseball. And I can see why you wouldn't like that if you were the commissioner. You don't want somebody betting on the game who plays, who coaches or manages or plays the game. I get it. Because, Pete can really lose a lot of money because the house usually wins. And if he owes a lot of money, I guess the boys, those boys, what I'm talking about, with the crooked noses, they can say, hey, you want to pay off your debt? Why don't you help us out a little bit? Why don't you throw a game or two and we'll bet on your team to lose. So I could see why you wouldn't want somebody in baseball, Major League Baseball, to bet. Whatever. But I think Carlos Beltran's penalty should be as bad or worse than Pete Rose's. Out of baseball, no Hall of Fame, he's out. I mean, if you're going to give it to Pete Rose, frankly, I could care less about either one, but I'm saying if you're going to give one guy this bad penalty, this bad punishment for the rest of his life because he gambled, then you got to do the same thing for a cheater. It's the same thing. It's really bad. But what really amazes me, still to this very day, is the fact that he had this idea, and I don't know if he developed the whole idea by himself and if he put it all together. I don't know what this guy did. I can't wait for the documentary, like I said. I'm sure PBS is going to do something on it. Maybe 60 minutes, who knows. But the fact that this guy went to a second guy, and he said, hey, I got an idea. And the second guy didn't say, whoa. Are you serious? Because if you're serious, I got to give you my notice, or I got to go tell the boss. You can't do this. We're here to play baseball. We've been in this game for a long time. This is America's game. You can't taint it by stealing signs. I just can't believe that he found the second person. I really can't believe it. And then I think as the truth comes out, I can't believe there was a third and a fourth. I mean, this thing went up. I wonder how far this went up the chain of command before somebody said, hey guys, this is wrong. I don't want to be a part of this. Can you trade me? And I also heard that one of the rookies, there was a rookie that knew or something like that, but he didn't want to say nothing because he wanted to stay on the team. I guess, maybe his career was precarious. I don't know if that's true or not. But it's not like it's a corporation. If they traded for you, or if you came up from the Farms League, or whatever, if you're on the team, you're on the team. I mean, yeah, I know teams trade players for all different reasons, but I mean, it's not like you'd be out of baseball. They would just trade you. But then, but how do you know that your coach is cheating and not tell the commissioner? Because then you're cheating too. You're aiding and abetting a cheater. So, the only thing I'm curious about this whole story is not that if it has legs now, but are they going to do something about it? Are they ever going to do something about this situation? I mean, I know they've done a little bit, but I'm curious how this is going to go. I just can't believe I can't find a second person to go to do something with me, and this guy's finding a cheater in Major League Baseball. All right, folks, I don't have an outro or anything like that. Well, I do have something. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, good rats, Godspeed, and great skills. Take care. All right, folks, don't forget Crooked River Radio. All right, 57, 58, 59, 30.